Hello, everyone, and welcome back from the short little break. This is episode 6 of the Autistic podcast show. And today I'm joined by a very special guest today called Dynamic. Welcome, Dynamic. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. You probably know me as a station manager and presenter at Truckers.fm. Been there for over 5 years now. So you probably know me from there, presenting shows such as the Feel Good Friday show and the Most Played Chart.
So you're a manager and radio presenter for TFM. Before we get into you and your role, what I'd like to know is, how did Truckers FM first start up? And was you part of the early crew to discover TFM straight away?
So then, back in the day of 2015, I wasn't even a part when they first founded TFM, but I do know the story behind it. So London and Josh, you may know them. They're the two sort of brains behind it. They was on holiday in Spain on a rainy day, and they decided they wanted a community radio station like Nova, and decided to form Trucks.fm. They also worked with Mark and some various other people who aren't on the team now. And they created it, and it opened up on the 16th of October 2015. And then I joined a few months later down the line in January. I applied in November though, so I've pretty much been there from the start. Very different times back then. We started off with one Skype chat as our main team chat, and that was it. We had like 3 pages on the website. We have reached about 10 listeners. Really, really early days back when I joined, but it was great fun and to see where we've come from since then. It's absolutely amazing.
When you first joined TFM, did you join as presenter?
I just joined literally as a presenter back in the day. That was all I had. I had a rubbish mic, a rubbish headset. I use the iPhone mic for your phones. I use that, which is awful. But I somehow got accepted because I got told by Mark they needed people. So you won't quite get away with that now. But yeah, I started off with literally the most basic of setups. Not much music, but yeah, and just joined as a presenter, yeah.
With you as a manager, how long have you been a manager for Truckers FM now?
So, I would say I joined as a presenter in January. I became a supervisor in about the summertime of 2016-ish, roughly, and then I became a manager in early 2017. That's a rough estimate because it's so a lot I've slept since then. But yeah, so it was about a year until I became a full manager, which I am now. Yeah.
Can it be difficult having to manage a huge community?
So it can be tough at times. There are times when you sort of pulling your hair out, like, oh my goodness. But the great thing is we have an amazing management team. It's not just me on my own. We've got 4 station managers, 2 Discord admins, 2 station supervisors, and an audio production manager. So it is kind of, we all pull together and we all work it out. And the vast majority of the time, 99%, I'd say, really, you sort of just working as a team. We've all kind of got our own little niche roles in the team. I sort of sort out presenters and their hours and make sure they're all happy and okay. London, you probably know, for looking after the Twitter and sort of social media, stuff like that. We've all got our little roles and it sort of just clicks. It sort of works. We never originally sat down and said, right, Dynamic, you're going to look after the team and London's going to do social media. It just evolved over these 5.5 years, and people have come, people have gone. But yeah, it's just really, really fun. Mainly, I mean, I put a lot of time in it, probably too much. My girlfriend usually tells me off for that, but it is really good, and the rewards you get out of it, it's just amazing. When you go in game, and people are just saying thank you, it's amazing. But yeah, absolutely love it.
Because there isn't a lot of in-game radio stations for online communities, kind of like Truckers FM, do you feel like that there should be more in-game stations focused towards other online gaming communities to focus on those certain games out there?
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, when Truckers FM started, there was only 2 in the sort of community at the time. Obviously, more have grown now. There's about 7. It's absolutely great because we love that. You'd think we'd be like, oh gosh, not another one. But we'd love sort of, not the rivalry, but all the radio sort of coming together and doing it for that one thing, but it'd be great to have some for other communities because there's so many out there right now. There's loads, and it'd be great to see them popping up because we absolutely love hearing them. We love like getting to know them, seeing how they sort of work as well, and we all kind of join together. We help each other out if we see like an issue, a common issue. We're like, we sorted out this way, stuff like that. So it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, hopefully more will pop up as time goes on. Community radio seems to be popping up a lot more at the minute. It seems to have grown a lot, especially since lockdown. We noticed during lockdown quite an increase of community radios, which is absolutely awesome. Getting people on the radio and entertaining people. So yeah, fingers crossed for more.
How does the advertisement work? Like, especially with the jingles, like, were they custom made? Were they news for like for where you have to go to a professional website and they sort it out for you? How does that all work?
So there's different ways people can get adverts on. There's free options, there's paid options. So starting off with the free options, basically we ask people to create their own adverts. We can recommend like audio production companies that we use personally. We've used Make Me Creative for our latest imaging pack, the big one. And we sort of recommend them and they have to make them their own, send them to us. Then we got our Patreons, which you may have seen. People have to pay for them. If they do, we will create their advert for them. We'll also create a banner for them if they require that as well for the website. And they pay that monthly, and obviously the advert's on there as long as they pay for. And we've also latest, like just a week ago, got a traffic sponsor as well. So they pay a bit more. They also have the traffic sponsor. So when the traffic goes out, it says sponsored by a minute Truck Space Group. And that's sort of a brand new sort of thing we've looked at for quite a while, sort of being a bit hesitant on it because we didn't know how the community would feel about it. Like we had to put a bit of a higher price on it because of it's being played more, and we had to do a bit more than just a jingle for it because obviously it's a big traffic bed. But it seems to have worked really well. It seems to be a good success so far. It looks really exciting. But yeah, that's basically how it works. And obviously people, if they send those banners, they can just send them through the emails and we can throw them on. If they're free, then they just get shown at random time intervals, or if they're paid for, get shown each time. But yeah, that's basically the advertising. Yeah.
Well, with your show, the Feel Good Friday show, how long have you been doing that? And the second question to that was that your first ever show that you've ever done?
So this is interesting. So when I first joined Truckers FM back in 2015, my first show was on a Friday, 5 till 6, my first ever show. It wasn't called a Feel Good Friday show. It was called Bringing You the Tunes from the last few decades. It was really long and uncatchy, and I didn't really know what I was doing anyway. And then so I sort of developed this show because I back then I was at school as well, many moons ago. So I had to kind of work with that sort of a timetable. And that's where the sort of Feel Good Friday show came from, being on Friday at 5 o'clock. It used to be 5 till 6, then became 5 till 7. And I did that until 2017. And then I got a job and my timetable went out the window. And I worked mainly Friday evening. So the show went until last year in May. It's very coming up on nearly on a 1-year anniversary again of the Feel Good Friday show. So it's been back since May of 2020. Weekly, each and every week so far, since even on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, I was there doing the show. Absolutely just hungover a little bit, but yeah, still did it. But I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, just kickstarting the weekend, getting on them Friday tunes, just loving it. Yeah.
For TFM, because it is a community radio station, and some presenters are like from the US and from UK as well. When it comes to the point of like having one presenter on and another one straight on afterwards, how difficult can it be to have the transition between each presenter? Because obviously it can go a bit smoothly, and sometimes it may not go too well. How well does that go?
Each time we have a presenter, no matter where they are in the world, we always do a countdown. That's sort of a structure that we have, and we do that in a chat and just a text chat. So it's not too bad, but it doesn't really matter where they're from. Each time they'll get the same sort of countdown, And we also check as well once you get on, like, is your mic okay? Is your music okay? Stuff like that. So it's not actually too bad. And everyone who joins TFM, we obviously, they have to sort of talk basic English so that obviously we can communicate them as well as like managers, as well as the rest of the team. So it works quite well just sort of in that format. It's mainly numbers anyway, sort of like 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and then go. So it works really quite well across the board of like sort of internationally, because everyone sort of recognizes the numbers anyway, but everyone in the team does speak basic English anyway, so it works quite well doing it that way. Yeah.
If you had to say, what would be your top 3 TFM presenters or shows?
Oh, you're making me pick favorites now.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I honestly don't think I can choose. Goodness me. I've always taken inspiration from London, even before I was in TFM. He was at another station, and I've listened to him for so long now. I mean, London's like a god. Like TFM and radio, if you ever catch his shows, they're not as regular as he used to be, but they are flawless. I mean, I can't pick 3 favorites, sadly. I love each presenter. They all have their own individual sort of, taste. Like Ram does sort of rock and stuff like that. Sharky gets us up in the morning, and Jay keeps us going in the morning as well, which we need, especially on a Monday. Like today, I was tuning because I needed that pickup. But yeah, each and every show just has their own niche little bits. Savoy has his TFM Rewind. Mark's got his games on the. Yeah, I can't pick, sadly.
How did you come up with the name DJ Dynamic?
So this came about when I was applying for TFM. I never had it. I was at another radio before this, and I was just called sort of my name, Brendan. And then I was like, I saw it was a very small station, that one. You only had about 2 listeners, and it tended to be yourself and the guy who owned the station half the time. So when it came to TFM, I saw lots of people had nicknames, like London had one. There was Pascal, quite a few nicknames. So I was like, what do I want to call myself? And I was kind of thinking, what sort of presenter would I like to be? I was like, well, I'd like to be sort of different from the crowd. I'd like to be sort of, I was kind of looking at meanings for words related to this. And then I came across the word dynamic, and it was like sort of ever-changing, ever-growing, standing out. And I was like, you know what? I'll go with that, because that's kind of who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the presenter who pushed the boundaries, I guess, in sort of radio, and sort of, because obviously you get more freedom and community than you do on FM. And so I thought, yeah, that'd be a fitting name. It's also quite a catchy name. So I was like, yeah, DJ Dynamic, we'll go with it. So it kind of stuck from then, and I applied, got in, and here I am today. But I trialed a few. I'm from the north of England, so I was like, DJ North. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I don't know if we could have going with my own name again. I was like, I kind of want like this sort of DJ name, because everyone had one. So yeah, that's how the name Dynamic came about. Just sort of wanting to push the boundaries and ever changing, really. So yeah.
If you had to say, what would have been the most successful thing that's ever happened for TFM?
Gosh. Well, obviously Discord Partner was a really massive thing that that was quite a few years ago as well. So we weren't as big as we are now. And when we got that, it was kind of like, wow, because that was our first big sort of recognition from like an external outside. We've had news articles from the Metro. We've had Eurogame and stuff like that. But I tell you also, we've always been trying to get verified on Twitter, especially London, because obviously he's the one who runs it. And the day that happened, it was like this big party because we got verified on Twitter. We'd always been trying to, we'd beaten Truckers MP, we'd beaten SES Software. It was like crazy. It was absolutely mental. We also got verified on Facebook like the week before. So I guess all these external big sort of companies recognizing you is like really, yeah. But as well, just the community that we've kind of got and the presenter team that's grown over the years, like it makes you proud to sort of just when you step back and sort of look at it as a whole as well, just the overall growth of TFM from its very early days of sort of 10 listeners to now having hundreds, if not even like 1,000 listeners. Like it's absolutely crazy. So just the general growth itself is sort of like, wow.
I mean, it's also an achievement of having Karen Harding and 220 Kid, I mean, on as guests.
That's true as well. Yeah, having these big artists coming on as well, it is it's crazy. Just because years ago when we had like 10 listeners, you'd have never dreamt of having T20 Kid on. And then there you go, you got T20 Kid on, you got Karen Harding on. It's like, wow, how is this even happening? I think you have to kind of kick yourself in the shit of it and be like, wow, yeah, wow. It's just amazing.
Having the opportunity to even if it's just like only for 30 minutes and just ask some questions like you thought you never could have the opportunity for, or like it's a fantastic opportunity. Like it's just fantastic anyway. Well, I can't think of any more questions, unless if you have any questions yourself.
No, I'd just like to say, if you are listening, thank you very much for listening to the podcast, and thank you for everyone's ever, sort of listening to TFM and supporting us in whatever way it is, even if it's just tuning in. That's all we need. That's just amazing. So thank you very much to absolutely everybody who supports us, even those who are like patrons and pay or donate. Like some people donate quite a lot, and it's like, wow, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate everything. But just down to the listeners themselves, thank you very much for just giving your time to us and tuning in.
Would you like to let everyone know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, the easiest place is probably on Twitter at TFM_dynamic. I'm usually on the most active. That's probably where you'll find me. Also, you'll find me in the public TFM Discord, discord.gg/TrucksFM. You'll find me in there quite a lot as well.
And don't forget, you can listen to DJ Dynamic with his show Feel Good Friday Show every Friday from 5 p.m. UK time. And you can listen to the Skinner and Dynamic with the most played chart show Saturdays from 6 p.m. on TFM as well. But for now, thank you all for listening in on episode 6. Episode 7 will be out next Friday at 6 p.m. UK time on Spotify and YouTube. And thank you for Dynamic for joining as special guest on this episode. Bye for now, everybody.